Hi, good evening viewers. You're watching Sunset Television and this is the news and I'm Rashika. We will get you detailed news stories, be it national, international, sports and weather. Let's begin with today's headlines. Anti-terror raids at locations linked to Popular Front of India across the country. NIA arrests 106 suspects from 11 states. Union Home Minister chairs high-level meeting. Congress notifies election for party president. Nominations to be filed from 24th to 30th of September. Voting on 17th October. Results to be declared on 19th of October. Vice President underscores debate and discussion as the spirit of good governance. Asserts that freedom of expression is a non-negotiable and uncompromising asset of India. US Federal Reserve Bank raises interest rate by 0.75% points to control inflation. Sensex falls 337 points. Heavy rains in NCR and Delhi. Landslide disrupts traffic in Rudraprayag. Rains to continue in Uttar Pradesh, Delhi and Madhya Pradesh for the next few days. Let us now look at some important news in our flash segment. Prime Minister Modi to inaugurate National Conference of Environment Ministers in Gujarat on Friday. UN awards India's initiative to tackle hypertension under the government's National Health Mission. "5G services will cover a major part of the country within 2 years, says IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw. Prime Minister Modi to launch 5G services in the first week of October. Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh to take part in Clean Tech Leaders Roundtable. Clean Energy Action Forum 2022 kick-started in Pennsylvania on Wednesday. Punjab Assembly session to be held on 27th of September. Chief Minister Maan to move Supreme Court on cancellation of special session. Supreme Court reserves order on petition challenging Karnataka High Court order upholding ban on hijab in educational institutions. CRPF clears Jharkhand Maoist hub for last 3 decades. Budapahar area of Maoist. RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat visits mosque and madrasas in Delhi, holds discussions with Chief of All India Imam Organization, Imam Umair Ahmad Ilyasi. Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia says COVID-19 situation revealed strength of India's healthcare system. Rhino poaching in Kaziranga National Park down to its lowest in last 2 decades, says Environment Minister Bhupendra Yadav. Now news in detail. Several agencies led by the National Investigation Agency carried out searches at premises linked to Popular Front of India across 11 states. As many as 106 activists of the Popular Front of India were arrested on Thursday in early morning raids for allegedly supporting terror activities in the country. The maximum number of arrests were made in Kerala, where 22 persons were arrested. 20 arrests each were made in Maharashtra and Karnataka. 5 were arrested from Andhra Pradesh, 9 from Assam, 3 each from Delhi and Puducherry, 4 from Madhya Pradesh, 10 from Tamil Nadu, 8 from Uttar Pradesh and 2 from Rajasthan. The NIA called it the largest ever investigation process till date. The official said the searches are taking place at the premises of persons involved in terror funding, organizing training camps and radicalizing people to join proscribed organizations. Union Home Minister Amit Shah held a high-level meeting on Thursday. National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, Union Home Secretary Ajay Bhalla, Director General of NIA Dinkar Gupta were among the top officials who attended the meeting. During the meeting, Amit Shah is said to have taken stock of the action taken against the terror suspects and activists of the Popular Front of India across the country. The meeting took place on the day a multi-agency operation superheaded by the NIA led to arrest of 106 PFI activists across 11 states for allegedly supporting terror activities in the country. India not sitting as a permanent member of the UN Security Council is not good for us only, but also not good for the global body, External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar has emphasized. Jaishankar said that the transformation of the UNSC is overdue. Speaking at the Columbia University School of International and Public Affairs, Jaishankar said that the 5 permanent members are a very crucial definition of what the global order is about. India has been at the forefront of the efforts at the UN to push for urgent, long-pending reform of the Security Council. Jaishankar reiterated that within a few years, India will be the 3rd largest economy in the world, and not to have such a country in the key global council is not good. US President Joe Biden has supported India, Japan and Germany to be made permanent members of the United Nations Security Council. In his address to the session of the United Nations General Assembly, Biden also reiterated the need for reform of the Security Council. He said that he believes the time has come to make the organization more inclusive so that it can better meet the needs of today's era. He said members of the Security Council, including the United States, should defend the UN Charter and avoid vetoes.
No matter what else is happening in the world, the United States is ready to pursue critical arms control measures. A nuclear war cannot be won and must never be fought.
Congress's Central Election Authority issued a notification for the AICC presidential poll. With this, the process of electing the successor of the longest-serving party chief Sonia Gandhi has begun. Chairman of the Central Election Authority, Madhusudan Mistry, announced the election of the president of the party to be held as per the given schedule. The process for filing nomination will be held from 24th to 30th of September. The last date for withdrawal of nominations would be 8th October. The election, if there is more than one candidate, will take place on 17th of October. The counting of votes and the declaration of results would be on the 19th October.
What we have decided, जो हमने उदयपुर में decide किया, वो कांग्रेस पार्टी का एक commitment है, तो I expect that commitment will be maintained.
Debates and discussions are the soul of good governance, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar said today. Inaugurating the 3rd edition of the Lok Manthan program in Guwahati, Dhankar suggested that intolerance of others' point of view is antithetical to the vision of free exchange of thought. The Vice President said that lessons can be drawn from the past to uplift the quality of discussions in public domain, especially legislators. Reiterating that freedom of expression is non-negotiable, Dhankar said that responsibility rests with the members of the civil society to protect the views of the marginalized.
Dialogue, debate, and discussion are soul of governance. Contemporaneous scenario on this count, particularly legislatures, is worrisome. Entire ecosystem upliftment can be effected by drawing lessons from our rich past.
National Cadet Corps and United Nations Environment Programme signed an MOU in New Delhi in the presence of Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. The pact aims to tackle plastic pollution and achieve the universal goal of clean water bodies through Puneet Sagar Abhiyan and Tide Turner's Plastic Challenge Programme. The MOU was signed between DG NCC Lieutenant General Gurbir Pal Singh and Resident Representative UN World Food Programme Mr. Bishoy Parjuli. Delhi experienced light to moderate rain for the 2nd day in a row, causing waterlogging on roads and traffic disruptions. The Met Department issued an orange alert for heavy rain at some places. The fresh rains just before the withdrawal of monsoon is expected to help make up the rain shortfall to some extent. The Met Department has also forecasted moderate to heavy rainfall in southwest Uttar Pradesh, Delhi and adjoining areas and Madhya Pradesh in the next 3 to 2 days. Heavy rains in Uttarakhand triggered a landslide on National Highway 109 in Rudraprayag. A portion of the hill fell on the road near Tarsali village. It created traffic jams and people had to face difficulties due to long queues of vehicles. Now look at other news from across the nation. Former Chief Minister of Tripura, Biplab Kumar Deb, has been elected as Rajya Sabha MP. The by-election to the lone Rajya Sabha seat from the state was held on Thursday. Results were declared after the voting process. Deb defeated CPIM candidate and MLA Bhanulal Saha, securing 43 of the 59 votes. One member abstained from voting. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said the successful implementation of digital payment systems in India has proved naysayers wrong. Speaking on the 20 years of Modi governance before a gathering of BJP workers, the Finance Minister credited Prime Minister Modi's approach towards governance and his trust in people for this success. The Supreme Court is live streaming proceedings of all constitutional bench hearings from September 27th, 4 years after a path-breaking verdict in 2018. A unanimous decision was taken by the 30 judges of the Apex Court at the full court meeting headed by Chief Justice of India, U.U. Lalit. The centre has asked governments of Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh and National Capital Territory of Delhi to strive for zero stubble burning. Union Minister for Agriculture, Narendra Singh Tomar, reviewed preparedness for the stubble burning, an activity that farmers take up to prepare the ground for the sowing of the wheat crop in winter. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi resumed the Bharat Jodo Yatra by planting a sapling brought from Lakshadweep at the Union Christian College, Aluva in Kochi, Kerala. He also paid floral tributes to a mango tree planted by Mahatma Gandhi at the college on 18th March 1925. The Congress's Bharat Jodo Yatra will cover 3,570 kilometers in 150 days. Now news from the world of business and economy. India defended its decision to ban export of wheat and rice at a WTO meeting, even as some member countries, including the Senegal, US and EU, raised the concerns of adverse implication on global markets. India clarified that the decision to ban export of rice was temporary. The World Bank approved a 2,832 crore loan to facilitate public healthcare services in Gujarat. The funds will be dispersed through IBRD and will be directed at improving health of adolescent girls and disease surveillance. Union Telecom Minister Ashwini Vaishnav said that India's telecom policy will undergo a revamp with the new digital framework balancing societal objectives, rights and duties of individuals and digital norms. The new telecom policy is expected to require OTT players like WhatsApp, Zoom and Google Duo to obtain licenses to continue functioning in India. At the end of a volatile session, the BSE index closed 340 points lower to settle at 59,120, while NSE Nifty closed at 17,629 with a loss of 88 points. HDFC Bank and Axis Bank dropped by more than 2%, while FMCG and media indices remained stable. Global markets went into a slump as stocks across US, Asia and Europe weakened by as much as 2%. Hang Seng was the worst performer with losses of 1.61%, while Nasdaq trailed by 1.16%. Now time for a short break in the bulletin. On the other side, NASA spacecraft on course to smash into asteroid in a bid to change its course. Stay tuned.
एक व्यक्ति था जो एक दिन अपने गिरजाघर नहीं गया, ठंड पड़ रही थी, आग सेक रहा था और बाहर उसने देखा कि कुछ एक चिड़ियाँ हैं जो ठंड में बर्फ़ से मर रही हैं और जगह ढूंढ रही हैं कि गर्माहट दिखे। शीशा था, आके कुट कर रही थी, लेकिन जो व्यक्ति था उसको तरस आया और वो बाहर गया और इशारा करता था कि वो अंदर आएँ, लेकिन चिड़ियाँ उसको देख के भाग गई। हमारे जो प्रभु यीशु का इस जगत में आना है, पवित्र बाइबल में लिखा है कि परमेश्वर ने जगत से ऐसा प्रेम किया कि उसने लौता पुत्र दे दिया ताकि जो कोई भी उस पर विश्वास करेगा वो नाश नहीं होगा बल्कि अनंत काल का जीवन पाएगा।
The only show of its kind that tries to demystify diplomacy and make complex international issues understandable to everyone. I am Vikas Swaroop. And every week, I bring you a new dispatch from the front lines of foreign affairs. We talk to the best experts who enlarge our understanding of foreign affairs and show us why the world matters to India and why India matters to the world. So keep watching Diplomatic Dispatch only on Sunset Television.
Welcome back to the news. Now time for Russia-Ukraine updates. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky made his much-anticipated speech at the United Nations General Assembly on Wednesday virtually. In his speech, he called upon the world leaders to punish Russia for the war, even as he vowed to win back every inch of the territory. Zelensky's address received a thunderous applause and a standing ovation at the UNGA session. Let's hear in.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that Russia's decision to mobilize reservists shows that Moscow is not serious about negotiating an end to its nearly 7-month-long war. Addressing the UN General Assembly session virtually, Zelensky said his forces would return the Ukrainian flag to the entire territory, even as Russia redoubled its war efforts. Coming just a few hours after Russian President Vladimir Putin's announcement of partial mobilization of troops, Zelensky implored the world to punish Russia for its invasion and war crimes.
We must finally recognize Russia as the state of sponsor of terrorism at all levels, in all countries that confess the values of peace and protection of human life, legally, politically. If you don't have a legal mechanism, you can make a political decision in the parliaments. This is the foundation for restoring global security.
The sentiment was echoed by several other world leaders who condemned Russia for attacking a sovereign nation.
This war is about extinguishing Ukraine's right to exist as a state, plain and simple, and Ukraine's right to exist as a people. Whoever you are, wherever you live, whatever you believe, that should make your blood run cold.
This war is not just an attack on our neighbor and friend, Ukraine. It is an attack on the rules-based international order. It is an attack on nuclear safety. It is an attack on food supplies to countries in the Middle East and Africa.
Zelensky also urged the world leaders to strip Russia of its vote in international institutions and UN Security Council veto, insisting that aggressors need to be punished and isolated. The Ukrainian president is the only leader to address the international forum virtually, an extraordinary exception that was held to a vote last week. Zelensky's much-anticipated address received nearly a minute of applause as well as a standing ovation. Bureau Report, Sunset TV.
India, Brazil and South Africa have reiterated their call for an immediate cessation of hostilities and pursuing the path of diplomacy. The three nations jointly voiced serious concern at the ongoing conflict and humanitarian crisis in Ukraine at the 10th India-Brazil-South Africa Trilateral Ministerial Commission meeting on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly session in New York. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar, Brazil's Foreign Minister Carlos Alberto Franco Franca and Health Minister of South Africa Dr. Joe Patla participated in the IPSA trilateral meeting. Russia and Ukraine carried out a surprise prisoner swap involving nearly 300 people. Those released include prisoners of war from countries including the United States, the United Kingdom, and Morocco. Some of them had been sentenced to death after being captured in Ukraine. Russia also freed some 215 Ukrainians, including the 5 commanders who led the Ukrainian defense of Mariupol earlier this year. In exchange, Ukraine released 55 Russians and pro-Moscow Ukrainians. Ukraine also released Viktor Medvedchuk, the leader of a banned pro-Russian party who was facing charges of treason. This is the largest prisoner swap since Moscow's invasion began nearly 7 months ago. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky thanks some of the Azov regiment fighters who were freed in a prisoner exchange with Russia. Zelensky posted a video showing an official briefing him on the freeing of the citizens in exchange for pro-Russian opposition leader Viktor Medvedchuk and 55 others held by Ukraine. Canada has condemned Russian President Vladimir Putin's military mobilization order and threats to use nuclear weapons. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said on Wednesday that Ottawa remains steadfast in its support for Ukraine. He also said that Russia's rushed referendums to try to annex parts of Ukraine are unacceptable. Trudeau said Canada would support Kyiv by strengthening its sanctions on Russia and sending military aid to Ukraine. North Korea has said that it has never supplied weapons to Russia and has no plans to do so. In a statement released by the Korean Central News Agency on Thursday, an unnamed North Korean defense official said the US and other hostile forces were spreading a rumor of arms dealings between Pyongyang and Moscow. Here are today's global updates. The US Federal Reserve announced a 0.75 percentage point hike in interest rates to tackle high inflation. This was its 3rd time in a row. The recent increase in the key policy rate has now raised it to between 3 and 3.25%, its highest level since early 2008. The softening of gas prices did provide some relief to inflation but remained at 8.3% in August. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said, "No one knows whether this move can lead to a recession, but if it does, how serious will it be?"
Price stability is the responsibility of the Federal Reserve and serves as the bedrock of our economy. Without price stability, the economy does not work for anyone. In particular, without price stability, we will not achieve a sustained period of strong labor market conditions that benefit all.
South Africans are being forced to go up to 9 hours a day without electricity, putting a severe strain on Africa's most industrialized economy. South Africa's state power utility has implemented its highest level of nationwide power cuts to reduce pressure after 2 more of its aging power plants broke down. Here is a detailed report.
Ordinary South Africans are feeling the brunt of excessive power outages. Many households are going without electricity for up to 8 hours a day. State-owned power utility Eskom, that produces about 95% of the country's electricity, is implementing the scheduled blackouts in an attempt to save electricity. The company is struggling to keep its aging and poorly maintained coal-fired power stations operational. For ordinary citizens, investing in a generator made sense when they were facing stage 1 power outages that lasted for an hour or 2 earlier. But now, the price of running a generator at stage 6 power cuts that lasts up to 10 hours is no longer cost effective. Eskom's load shedding is estimated to have contracted the economy by 0.7% in the second quarter of 2022. South Africa's biggest telecommunication companies have warned that continuous blackouts may start affecting their services. The blackouts are also affecting other government services. With South Africa's economy already struggling to rebound from the COVID-19 pandemic, economists have given stark warnings on the effect of the blackouts. Bureau Report, Sunset TV.
European countries are preparing for winter by conserving on energy. Greece is turning off eye-catching decorative lights on an iconic monument as a symbol to encourage people to save power and electricity. Let's watch in.
One of the world's longest multi-span cable stay bridges in Greece has turned off its eye-catching decorative lights as the government calls on the country to conserve energy in the wake of spiraling prices. The cables and pylons of almost 3-kilometer Rio Interior Bridge across the Strait of Gulf of Corinth, usually seen for kilometers, have been immersed in darkness. Inaugurated on the eve of the Athens Olympics Games in 2004, the bridge is a well-known landmark in Greece for its impressive construction and is the longest bridge in the country. The decorative lights made up 800 of the 1,500 lights on the bridge, the rest of which must remain on. The lights that have been turned off will save 50 megawatt hours of energy per year, or 7% of the 52% of the energy consumed by the lighting system on the bridge. The move is more symbolic to encourage people who view the large monument to conserve energy. The company is also making plans for the bridge to have its own energy source in the future in the form of photovoltaic park. Public buildings are also switching off exterior lights and taking other measures after the government called for municipalities and state entities to cut down on energy consumption. Greece's neoclassical parliament building and mayor's office in Athens have turned on their exterior lights in the evening. Bureau Report, Sunset TV.
NASA's double asteroid redirection test spacecraft is smashing into an asteroid next week. It will be the first ever real-world planetary defense mission. The 500-kilogram DART craft is due to reach its destination, the 780-meter-wide asteroid Didymos, on 26th of September.
The impact should be just enough to nudge the asteroid into a slightly tighter orbit around its companion, Space Rover. It's the first save-the-world experiment of its kind.
Planetary defense is like earth science and space weather. It's one of those domains of science that really can have societal impact. And if you looked at the threats we have each and every day on a daily, per day basis, right now, what happens with our Earth, obviously it's a bigger threat to your and my life.
If successful, the test will demonstrate that if a killer asteroid ever heads our way, we will stand a fighting chance. DART blasted off on the $325 million mission last November. Bureau Report, Sunset TV.
And now from the latest from the world of sports. Skipper Harmanpreet Kaur smashes a scintillating, unbeaten 143 of just 111 balls to power India to a comprehensive win in the second ODI. India sealed the first series win against England since 1999. In a chase of 333, Indian bowlers bundled England for 245. India wins second ODI by 88 runs. Pacer Renuka Singh takes 4 wickets for 57. The Indian Premier League to return to pre-COVID home and away format from 2023, conveys BCCI President Sourav Ganguly to the board's affiliated state units. Roger Federer will team up with long-time rival Rafael Nadal for the final match of his glittering career, Laoe Cup organizers announced. Federer will play doubles with the Spaniard at the O2 Arena in London on Friday. Supreme Court appoints ex-judge Justice L. Nageshwara Rao for amending constitution of IOA. A bench headed by Justice D.Y. Chandrachud said the ex-top court judge would ensure a fair and development-oriented approach for the future of the Olympics in the country. That's all in today's The News. Keep watching Sunset Television for latest updates. Good night.